Well, good afternoon, everyone. Life with Eddie. Well, there's been a whole lot going on, but none of it's been earth-shattering, so I haven't had to detail anything that's been going on. Eddie's been behaving himself for the last, I don't know, week or so. But let's see, yesterday, well, the main thing is he fell again. It's gotten to the point to where Eddie just going from, let's just say, from a chair to a chair, you know, without losing his balance. So anyway, we're getting to the point to where I can't hardly pick him up anymore. This last time really hurt me, but I'm okay. I don't have anything wrong with me. It's just that I strained my back a little bit, which is, I've been doing this for many years, so I know how to take care of it. 2 nights ago was when, let's see, this is Friday, so it'd have been Wednesday, about 3:30 in the morning. My wife wakes me up and says, I think I heard something in Eddie's room. So I got up and went around there, and sure enough, he was on the floor. And this time it was a pretty good size struggle to get him up. So anyway, I got him up, got him back in bed, got him taken care of. And besides that, okay, he's got this medical bed. I'm sure most of y'all are familiar with those. Well, the let's see how I can say this. The head part, you know, comes up, and the rest of the bed stays flat, and the head part comes up. Well, I pushed that stupid button, and nothing would happen. It would go down, like, you know, as far as it wanted to, but it wouldn't come up. And so what I'm always learning, if something don't work, hit it. So I had my little hammer, and I didn't use the metal part of the hammer. I used the wood part of the handle, and I beat on the motor, and sure enough, it starts working. So it worked a few times, and then the next day it quit. You know, so here we go again. You know, push the buttons, can't get anything to work. Beating on it, trying to get it to work, nothing works. So I just kept after it, kept beating on it until finally it started working. So I left it alone. Called the company. Wouldn't you know it, they come out there 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm sitting here pushing the button, and the thing's going up and down, up and down. I couldn't get it to not work. And I said, well, this is par for me, you know. Take my car to a mechanic shop, you know, for some reason or another. I take it in there, and it quit making noise or whatever. So anyway, it's still working to this day. Of course, you know, when you got a wheelchair and you have to wheel somebody around, this is one of those in-house wheelchairs where it'll fit through every door, except when you can't, you have to, you know, the opening is here, but you have to open the door all the way back against the wall in order to get the full 23 inches. Well, this door would only open part way, which means part of the door was sticking in the doorway. So anyway, ended up taking the door off, and I've got I can't think of the word. What's the word, crosscut? Curtain. So I hung a curtain there so that he could just, which is really better, because now he doesn't have to fool with any knobs, doesn't have to, you know, take his hand off of which he doesn't need to be walking by himself anyway. Doesn't have to take his hand off of anything, you know. He's got something to hang on to all the time, just walks right straight through. So we got that. Then, okay, we went and visited a care facility for Eddie, because it's getting to the point, I'm by myself. Marie can only do so much, so she's kind of out of the question. So, you know, if there was somebody, if she was able to, you know, she'd be more than happy to help, but she can't. So we got to get him into a care facility where there's, you know, more than one person there that can, you know, help him out of bed, help him to eat, help him clean up, whatever the case may be. There's 2 people. When somebody is down like Eddie, you've got to have 2 people. Now, delivering meals, picking meals up, you know, stuff like that, covering him up, whatever. One person can fine, but all these other things that you have to do, it takes 2 people. Well, luckily, John, my brother John, came in, which is a great visit. We're just so glad to see him, because he lives down in Houston, and we don't get to see him enough. We talk, all the time over the phone, but I'm one of these guys and he's one of these guys. Unless we have face-to-face conversation, it's just a phone call. So, and we both like, connections with each other, eye contact, whatever you want to call it. What do you want to call it, Crosscut? Just speaking crazy stuff. Okay, thank you. All right, well, anyway, the care facility, we're waiting for them. They're going to come out and evaluate Eddie to see if they can actually handle him. So we're waiting on that. That'll be coming up Monday. Well, anyway, back to John. I had some things that I had to have done. The only person that can help me is John, because we have to get Eddie out of bed. We have to put him in the wheelchair, roll him around, do these certain things, and then we have to get him back, and then it takes both of us to pick him up, because then we have to turn him around and set him on the bed. And for me to do that is really hard. But with John there, oh man, he's a lifesaver. He was able to help me. Matter of fact, he could pick up Eddie by himself. That's how strong John is. So that was a huge help. There's not much else going on. Eddie is he's doing about the same as far as health wise. He says he can't hear, but we're in the kitchen talking, and he's answering some questions through the door, and I'm sitting there going, I told John, I says, I thought he couldn't hear. Or that's what he keeps telling us, he can't hear. So anyway, I still got to have Marie translate for me what Eddie's saying, especially early in the mornings. It's getting, when we first got Eddie here, as I said before, we were like the Three Stooges. Well, before that, when we first got Eddie here, we were like the Keystone Cops. We were just going back and forth, and it was just Murray and I. And so, we really didn't know what to do. This was so new to us. Well, now it's so calm, because when he rings that stupid bell, how does it go, Crosscut? Ping! Thank you, Crosscut. Anyway, I hate hearing that thing. So anyway, that's a sign that he needs help with something. So we take care of that. He was John and Eddie today. They have talked on the phone, several times over the years. Now we're talking 30 years or more, maybe more. But they've had a chance to reconnect and visit about a lot of stuff. And it's amazing how good Eddie's memory is, because he can remember all the stuff that him and John used to do. John could remember most of it. Of course, I couldn't remember any of it. I remember what Eddie and I used to do, but not with John. But anyway, they had a great time talking. They were probably in there, I don't know, I want to say maybe an hour and a half, maybe more. So, and that was after he woke up. Oh boy, I still got the yawns. Anyway, so they get together, they're having, a great time. Well, as soon as Eddie gets to the point where he feels like he can't talk anymore, he just says, John, I need to lay down. Well, I mean, as soon as Eddie's head hits the pillar, it's just like turning a switch off. He's out. So anyway, we called and ordered some barbecue today, and we all sat around, and John was telling some John stories, and of course Marie was talking, some Marie stories, and I was just sitting there eating and listening. And as I was finishing up, I was getting so sleepy I could barely keep my eyes open. But then John and I had to do some other stuff, so that kind of woke me up. But now it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I don't want to take a nap now because I'll fall asleep. And then I'll wake up at 9 o'clock, and then I can't go back to sleep. And the last thing I've got is somebody brought me another table saw. Another one of those rigid table saws. And they said, well, the switch works and the motor comes on every once in a while. I think, okay, I think I know what it is. Just leave it here. And luckily I have another one that I use for a loaner, so they took it. I've got this one. I'll fix it and then call them back and they'll come get it. But it's a motor. You've seen some of my videos on YouTube where I'm repairing these rigid table saws. They're I mean, there's no telling how many are in the landfill, just from people saying, well, I quit working, go buy another one. Well, I'm one of these guys. I'll spend as much time as I can on my time off working to make something work, just to save, you know, $300, $400, $500. But that's all I've really got today. There's just not much going on. If I think of anything else, I'll include it in another video. Y'all have a good evening.